Oh, that's crunchy. You're on fire early.
I know.
On fire early. Make sure your microphone gets a bit of action today. My friend Nick said that you weren't close enough to the mic.
Yeah, and also he says stop touching the table. So.
Don't touch the fucking table.
Oh, don't put that in the glass, in the shot.
Don't worry, it's out of shot.
On it?
It's a long way out of shot. All right.
All right.
The Wedding Crunch. I'm
Johnny.
I'm
Sharon.
Go again. I'll do it. The Wedding Crunch, starring Johnny and Sharon.
Well, we're not really starring. We're just the names behind it. Do not do that one more time. Put it down.
Right.
Welcome to the Wedding Crunch. I'm Sharon. This is Johnny. We are from Warren Photography and Martini Bride.
Great opener, Shaz. Great work early.
We're a bit ISO worn out already. We're only a couple of weeks in.
Shaz, I've been out of bed 8 minutes. I want to just point out that maybe I haven't tried as hard as I would normally try.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I do a lot of work from bed at the moment because obviously our wedding industry, the industry that we're in, has been knocked savagely by COVID-19.
True.
So we don't need to frock up.
No, so hence we look like shit.
Although I have a real issue with looking like this in public.
No.
I've still got...
You're smashing it. Your hair is amazing.
Because I've still got, an ethical...
A persona.
Oh, that'll do. Yeah, I've still got a persona and I like to look good for my people.
Whereas I don't give a rat's. No. This grey, itchy, horrible...
Is it going to go soon?
Yeah, no one's going to kiss me.
Oh,
so anyway, on today's show, Sharon...
I thought which we probably should have done right from the beginning. I can't cope. I'm going to just do myself up.
I'm glad that you've waxed your
I did
underarms.
shave my armpits for you as well. I would like to talk about why do we get married?
Why?
Because one of the questions I ask my couples, because I like to get to know my couples, I want to know why they're doing what they're doing.
Good.
And the first question I ask them in their little questionnaire is, why are you getting married? What does it mean to you? So I'm going to ask you the question, Johnny. You've been married 14 years, is that right?
Oh, I think it's 17, 18.
You just keep making it up as you go.
Yes.
Anyway, you've been married for somewhat
a large amount of years, yep.
Why did you want to get married?
No doubt I was pressured into it by Bronwyn.
Okay, well, Bronwyn's going to love hearing that. Strangely enough, I do hear that quite a bit.
I don't think I'm, I would be in the majority for that, wouldn't I? Wouldn't a lot of dudes get pushed into it?
A few of them have started off with funny stories of, I was given the ultimatum, if I don't ask her to marry me, by the time we're at 10 years, she said she's going to leave me.
Yep.
So he asked her to marry, it's one of my couples, he asked her to marry it literally like a week before their 10th anniversary. It wasn't like they weren't committed, like they had kids together.
True.
They've got all the mortgages.
I had a big-ass mortgage before we decided to get married.
Yeah, same actually.
Yeah.
So anyway, what made you get married apart from... Oh, that's looking better already.
Good
apart
job.
from being pressured.
Well, let me tell you the story of how it happened, Sharon.
Oh, okay.
So my wife was working... she had a job where she would flit in and out interstate, going to Sydney and back. And then one day she came in, she said... I don't care if we get married in the garage, as long as we get married. I'm going to Sydney, and by the time I get back, you better fucking work it out.
Did she really?
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was romantic. It was emotional.
I have to say, it warms the cockles of my
heart. So while she's away, I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to have to do this right, but I want to do it in a different way.
You didn't want to lose her. Yeah,
no, you're true, but I wanted to do it a different way because I'd been married,
Had you? I didn't know that.
No, I'd been married 200 times by this stage. Right? So I didn't want it to be a normal Saturday. So I found a wedding planner. Yeah. I found a wedding planner in Canada who was French-Canadian who told me the rules and regs and set me up for doing a ceremony in Paris.
Oh, yeah?
So then I went to Bronwyn and I said, okay, here's the plan. We'll go to Paris and we'll get married in Paris and it'll be beautiful.
Yeah?
Her response... You're a dickhead, you never take me seriously, blah, 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 and storms out.
I love it.
And I'm thinking, oh, no. So then, when I took the time to explain to her the situation and why and all that sort of gear, Then I'd sort of got her on board. It took a little bit of convincing, but once we were in it and once we were doing it, spectacular. We're in Paris, for God's sake. We're getting married. And the ceremony. So the ceremony, we had the head of the Scottish church in Paris.
Yeah.
Big Scottish guy, thick, aye, Jimmy accent.
Oh, love it.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he's got these fingers like sausages, and he's a really big bloke, right?
Yeah.
So at one point
I'm
we've
surprised that's what you actually remember about this guy.
well, here comes why. At one point we lost the rings, left them in the cab. So
This
the
story
ceremony,
is getting better.
he loaned us his ring, right?
Oh no.
And it was this big, enormous, thick chunker like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
In his enormous sausage fingers that I could have put 2 fingers into the ring. And it was blah, blah, blah. I now pronounce you man and wife. Can I have my fucking ring back? Is pretty much how it went.
So, did you get the rings back?
No, they were lost in a cab, so we just ordered new ones and we got home.
Oh my goodness. That is a really weird story.
It's a great story, isn't it?
I don't know if it's a great story.
Oh, it's a great story. At the time, harrowing. But once you're complete and you're done and you're at home and you've got your new ring on.
So how did you feel when you did get married?
Oh, I love the process.
Did you really?
Yeah, well, because we did the wedding vows in English and French.
Why?
Because we were in Paris.
But neither of you spoke French.
No. So he would say the French stuff and then I would repeat it back.
Oh,
but
that's so nice.
it's funny how I could repeat it back reasonably well. I had a bit more French in me than Bronwyn did, but she was he would say something in French and then she would repeat it back and it sounded nothing like what he was saying.
Oh, that sounds very
So
complicated.
who knows if my vows were actually even legal?
Real.
I don't know. But again, legals. It wasn't legal to get married in Paris.
But
so
you
we
were
got
straight.
Sorry?
You're straight. Why wasn't it legal to get married in Paris?
Because we were Australian and you have to be in Paris for more than 30 days and you have to be a resident.
Ah, yeah, right, okay.
So we did that and then came home and went to the registry office in Melbourne.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
And signed the documents here. So my wedding anniversary is the Paris date.
Oh, that's nice.
As opposed to the Melbourne date.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've done a few of those as a celebrant.
Yeah. Yours?
Ask me why I wanted to get married.
Sharon, enough about me, Sharon.
Okay. I'll be better once I put my lippy on.
Let's
I
talk
must
about
admit.
you. If you're listening
Why
to this
do
on
I
a
wanna get
podcast and
married?
you're not getting the visual, Sharon is currently doing her makeup because when we started this gig, we looked like shit.
Yeah.
And slowly, Sharon will
I'm transforming.
transcend into some sort of hottie. Whereas I'm happy to just stay like this.
Why did I get married? Interesting question. Because one, I'm in a same-sex relationship.
Yes.
And it wasn't legal at that stage.
Yes.
And people around us, when Eleni proposed to me, she organised a surprise proposal. So there was 65 of our closest family and friends. Amazing. People said, why are you getting married? We already see you as married. And I said, well, that's great that you see us as married. That means we've got the right people around us.
Good.
But it was really important. First of all, legally, I get to pull the plug in a hospital bed. Right? Because we're married.
Hang on. Is that number one? So number one is if your wife is a vegetable and there's a DNR written on the back of her head, and
I wanna
you
be
go,
the one.
yeah, I want to be the one that pulls the pin.
Yeah,
Not
because I-
anybody else. I want to pull the plug and make
Well,
sure
I
it
think
ends.
that's a privilege to pull her plug. We've spoken about this 100 times. But you know what people...
Oh, God, I love
But
that.
the reason I wanted to be married is I already knew our future was together. We had property together.
Yep.
At that stage, we didn't have a puppy together, but
Yes.
it was on the cards. I just wanted it to be more concrete. I wanted to be like everyone else. I wanted to be able to say, yes, I'm married, but not in a faux sense
See,
of the
now
word.
I have a friend who is a gay man.
Yes.
I remember him saying,
Well, my eyebrows are all over the place, Johnny. I can't even go on.
persist, you'll be all right. I remember him saying, why would you want to get married? That's so hetero. Whereas you're pre-legal
Yeah, I was
and
desperate.
you've gone to fly to another country to make it happen,
Oh, yeah, I went to New Zealand.
to
That's
get
right, yeah.
legal.
Yes.
But at what stage did you,
Because it was the most important thing for me for it to be legal.
but outside of pulling the pin, why? Why do you need the legality of it?
Because it made me feel, I don't know, it just made me feel more secure in our relationship. Even though it's a great relationship, when we got engaged, Eleni and I woke up the next morning and she said, "Do you feel different?" I said, "I do. I just feel more connected, knowing that you are my future." Because I was married at 25 and never, ever thought I'd be married again. And there I was 20 years later. I decided that this was the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, not as a girlfriend or a partner. I wanted her to be my wife. And I wanted to be a wife.
In the conversation of being married a second time, and regardless of the first one being hetero and the second one not being hetero, how different, like the first one and all the traditions and all those sort of things, was a very traditional wedding? You cut the cake and did all of the bridal dance and all the standards.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed, I'm tipping maybe the second one you didn't do that.
Well, only because, one, I was 25 as opposed to 47. So I'm a completely different human being. I know myself better. I'm older. I don't... Oh, you changed your mind because I'm starting to look pretty now.
I'm all over the place. Yep.
I was just two completely different people. And of course, Eleni, being an older bride as well, we just didn't need all the pomp and splendour. But when I see all my couples, so when I first meet them, we're going into kind of traditions now.
Good.
So what sort of wedding, what sort of vibe, you're looking for, what in your ceremony, and what are you doing for your wedding? Oh, nothing traditional. We're going to blow it out the water.
And then the first thing to do is cut the cake.
Yeah. Or when I see them a couple of weeks out from the wedding, so how's this? We're not walking down the aisle? How are we going to do this differently? Oh, no, Sharon, we're doing everything quite traditionally. I said, you know what, that's fine. I needed you to work that out. You need to go through that process of I'm going to elope, or it's just going to be family, or to the whole shebang that
A lot of the traditions
I'm nearly finished, huh?
are good ways of getting from point A to point B in the day.
Yes.
Because a lot of people will say to me, oh, yeah, and then we're not traditional, we're not going to worry about any of that sort of shit. And then I go, well, then hang on, how are you going to walk in? Oh, we just thought we were going to walk in.
Like, I know, right? That's a tradition.
Yeah. But just walk in, well, mate, you're not going to just walk in. Yeah. Someone needs to tell the crowd that you're going to walk in. And then there needs to be a start point. And then if you walk in and just wave at the crowd and sit down, that's boring as shit, man. If you got a cake, you might as well cut it. And all of a sudden...
you're talking about walking into the reception, not the ceremony.
No.
Right, sorry.
Into the reception. But all of a sudden, you're doing traditional things again.
Yep.
But the traditional things are almost the segues or the start points to get you to the next one.
I agree.
So as much as a lot of people go, hey, no, I don't do the traditions and blah, 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 you end up with them.
Yes. Or else, I don't understand why you're doing it then, if you're not going to stick to some forms of tradition. So in a same-sex wedding, for example, let's just focus on the ceremony for a second. When I got married, and two, my same-sex couples now, they're like, well, how do you want to walk in? Because we don't have that stock standard boy up the front, girl walking in.
Yeah, I need to ask that all the time when you're doing same-sexes. How does it work?
Many of the same-sex ceremonies that I've done, they've all been different. Yeah. So, for example, Eleni and I walked in together. But again, we were an older couple. So and my dad did ask me, am I walking down the aisle? I said, no, Dad, we've been there, done that.
We've done that already. I found actually that with lesbian weddings, the two of them come in together. A lot of the gay boy weddings, sometimes they walk in with their mum.
Yes, I've had,
Yeah, I don't find as many gay men walking together. Maybe I haven't shot as many, but...
maybe. I've had them come in together. I've had them come in with their mums.
Yep.
I haven't had any come in with dads yet. I've had them come in from the sides. And a wedding that I went to, good friends of ours, one came through the vineyard and one came through the house, two women. Yep. And so then, I must admit, I got confused because I didn't know where to look. I was so excited. Which way do I look? There's so many ways of doing it. Some of them come in halfway.
Yep.
And then look with their mums, and then connect, and then walk the rest of the way in together.
Yep.
So we've had to make our own little traditions, I suppose.
Yeah. You probably.
Who goes first? Which one goes first? If you're going to walk in,
rock, paper, scissors, Sharon.
Yeah. Well, usually they work it out between them. Like whoever's the more nervous one will come in second because they're not standing up there with everyone staring at them.
Yeah, gotcha.
Or Vicky Verka. Vice versa. Anyway, it's about traditions, which I quite like.
Can we discuss one tradition, Sharon, of why brides have a bouquet? Now, my understanding is that in the 10th century in England, women would only bathe once a year.
Yes. In June.
So they were given a bouquet of flowers to mask the smell of them coming down the aisle.
Correct. And so those bouquets were often filled with garlic and rosemary. And,
Oh, right.
Yes.
Outside
They weren't just your stock standard.
They were
peony.
feeding them, kill the smell.
Yeah.
Here's 8 litres of garlic. But
Yeah.
I have a lot of brides who are standing there and they go, why am I even holding this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. For that reason, so that you don't smell.
Again, it's a tradition that we've just continued on with.
Yeah.
Which I like, because if you don't have flowers at a wedding, there's something missing, don't you think?
Yeah, but I have seen brides come down in carrying little handbags.
Oh, yeah, that
We
was
did one, didn't we?
Yeah, that was
carried
online.
handbags.
Yeah.
I've
know about
seen
that.
fake flowers made out of paper.
Oh no, I've seen those, and I've also seen a bouquet made out of brooches.
Baroque.
But they're still carrying something. That's my point.
Yep.
Is it because we don't know what to do with our hands otherwise? If we're not carrying something?
What am I doing with my hands?
Yeah, where do they go?
Yep.
I like flowers. I like them in the background. I
Yep.
like them being held. I like them on the jackets. I like it all.
Whereas sometimes, Sharon, where I think you've got to cut costs,
You think it would be the flowers?
oh, look, mate, they're dead the next day. Hello, Angie from Flower Jar, if you're watching. I just... Yeah, I'd sometimes see flowers over the top, but,
My biggest regret was not doing the flowers at our wedding.
what did
Even
you
though it was
do?
only tiny.
Did you carry a handbag?
No, I just picked them out of the garden where we were staying. But that was my only regret for
I
our
see
wedding.
some very impressive setups with flowers and stuff like that.
And
what's
what's
if you've
the
got the
first
money
thing
for
that
it, great,
you say?
go nuts.
The first thing you say to yourself, oh,
you walk in,
that's
looks
a good
beautiful.
arbour. That's that table setting looks amazing.
Absolutely, it can look
So if you don't
beautiful.
have all those little bits and pieces, people will notice. I don't know.
Maybe.
You associate flowers with a wedding. I don't care who you are.
Some venues are just pretty enough that you don't need to go nuts. Whereas other venues are stark and lonely and you need to fill that with Kardashian amounts of flowers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Either
they're
or.
all.
Either or.
All I'm saying is traditionally, you need to have flowers.
Okay, if you say so. I know there are a lot of florists listening.
Oh, maybe just the one.
Hello, Rita.
Who's Rita?
Rita from Fell Flowers. Hello, Rita.
Oh, right.
Debbie, Flower Pot Debbie.
Stop it.
I thought we weren't going to mention names,
No,
Sharon.
we're not. And Foxy Evergreen and Floral
Foxy
Architect.
lady.
Yeah, anyway. So we don't need to keep pumping all of who our favourite florists are. Just jump on Martini Bride. You'll find them all there.
.com.au,
Commercial.
martinibride.com.au.
So did we get down to the bottom of why you got married? You told me about the process.
Yes. Are we going backwards?
I don't know. I just don't think I got the right answer.
What do you want to
you.
know? What do you want to know, Sharon? You want to go back to that one? Okay, hit me.
Why did you want to get married?
Why?
And scrap the pressure, scrap what you did and how you did it. And my couple say to me, Sharon, that was a really hard question. I want you to think about it and then send us a message. Why are you getting married?
Why?
I was so madly in love that I just knew I wanted to take that.
I think it's different for boys. I don't know.
Maybe, do you reckon?
Yeah, a lot of girls will obviously get caught up in the love and the gooiness. To be honest, and this is ironic, me coming from a wedding photographer, but I already had a mortgage. I could throw kids on top of it. I didn't need the piece of paper at the time.
Piece of paper.
Yeah, a lot of boys will go, oh, it's just a piece of paper.
No, a lot of girls say that as well. It's not just a piece of paper though. So when we woke up the next day, granted after our engagement, but after our wedding day, we were a whole new level.
Of
We
love,
just
love.
felt, well, not only love, because that glitter bubble does
and
eventually
we did too.
burst.
Yeah, you're
But
in
it
your
felt
little glitter bubble.
different. Did it feel
early.
different for you?
Yeah, but
Well, it
how
felt
long does
very
that
different.
hang? How long are you in the glitter bubble?
Well, I'm still in it 3 years later. She's driving me crazy at the moment, but I'm still in that. I look at her sometimes and go, oh my God, I'm so lucky. Like, this is my wife, not just my partner. In fact, I was on Family Feud once.
Oh, I saw that. It was a crazy ass looking family, I'll tell you that.
And I couldn't say wife because, little tiny Grant Denyer, all he did was look at my boobs. He was about that height. He came over, he said, so Sharon, introduce us to your team. And I've gone, oh, this is my life partner. Because I couldn't say why.
Did you say life partner?
I know, it was so dicky.
That's such a dicky thing.
It is, but I didn't want him to say partner or girlfriend. It wasn't strong enough for me.
Yeah. I'm happy. I think we've moved
Oh,
past...
plus I had my ex-husband and plus my best friend who's also a cousin.
Yeah, that's why I looked at that group of you and I went, what is that story? Sharon and her ex-husband and her wife
Well, it wasn't wife at the time. I don't think we were even engaged. Anyway, we won $10,000, so we did all right.
But the part of where was I going? I got
How'd you
singing
feel the
into
next
the 70.
Oh.
How do you feel? The bubble.
Yeah.
All right. So you're almost a newlywed.
I'm 3 years in, yeah.
Yeah. At some point, you're no longer a newlywed, and you get into the life. Into life of kids and mortgages and cars and jobs and blah, blah, blah. And then you almost become partners.
And companions.
And all those sort of good things.
I don't know. I'd love to ask some of my younger couples that question. That I'd married. Let's say I married them 4 years ago. I want to know I'm going to contact them.
What, and find out if they're still in love?
Well, no, maybe I should word that differently. I mean, how long did your wedding love glitter bubble last for?
How long for the bubble?
I don't know. I'm going to put it out there. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
What else do you want to talk about traditions? Because I'm just not getting the right answer from you.
Well,
I guess I'm wanting to hear
I can
something.
see you needling me for it.
Yeah, needling you for something. But I don't even know what I'm needling you for.
I'm being poked a little bit, and I know that my wife is going to listen to this.
No, your wife doesn't listen to it. Mine does.
No, well, obviously, I love my wife. Everything's great, but I'm 17 years in, and it's different to being 6 weeks in. People on their honeymoon and they're making crazy love.
Well,
and
not at the moment.
having a shitload of sex and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Life in the end doesn't become like that, Sharon. I don't want to sound all cynical. Everything's great.
Well, you are sounding a little bit cynical, and I just would like you to stop it.
But maybe it's a manly thing. I don't know.
You can't blame all of your downfalls on being a man.
No, I'm sure there are a lot of dudes who magically proposed without their missus saying anything to them.
Oh, no, let's get real.
Yeah, let's get real.
Let's get real.
99% of them will know that it's time.
That's what it is. They just know it's time.
Because they've been told, Sharon?
No, because it's just the rite of passage.
Because their girlfriend or partner has said, I think we should get married now. You better propose the right way because I'm not taking any bullshit for it.
Oh, dear. I hope there's not too many of those.
But I reckon, Sharon, you'd be surprised there is a large majority of that.
No, I think opposite of large. Small majority. Minority is what I meant. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Call us now on 13 100 13 13 17 and tell us why.
I'm getting all hot again. It's very hot in
Hot
here.
and flustered, and I'm drinking
What
red
other
cordial.
tradition can we, you, shit can, and me go for? Walking up and down the aisle?
No. Coming
That's
down
a
the
nice
aisle is
tradition?
good. I'm not a big fan of the reveal or the
first look?
The first look. I'm not a big fan of the first look. Can we talk about first look?
Yeah. Because that's becoming very popular.
It is. I think it's an American thing because Americans never... They sort of finish the ceremony and go straight into the reception. You don't get a portrait session in America, right? That's why Australians are some of the best wedding photographers in the world. But because of that, they then want to do a first look prior so that they've got time to do a portrait session.
Oh, this is in America.
Yes. So now Australians, a lot of those have picked those up and gone, let's go for a first look, then we can just go straight into the party. But the first look, Sharon, is very much akin to opening your Christmas present early. But there's an edge. You're in the portrait session, right? Let's say we do the first look, everything's amazing. Oh, God, you look beautiful. And you have a big smooch and everything's great.
Cry.
Then we move out into the portrait session for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours pre-ceremony.
It's a long time.
That, you're a little bit edgier. You haven't been through the wedding yet. When a wedding ceremony finishes, you're 2 inches taller, man. You're pumped. You want to hug your mates and everything's great. But pre-ceremony, you don't have the ring on. Or do you have the ring on?
Oh, so many questions, so little time.
And I'd like to go and have some beers with my mates, but I can't be hammered for the ceremony. I'm a little bit edgy because I'm thinking about my speech and things like that, and I can't let myself go and laugh and giggle. There's a difference to it.
True.
The first look, I don't think, gives you as much freedom.
Okay, I did the first look.
You did a first look.
I did a first look.
Every time I say something, you've done the fucking opposite.
No, but I'm going to agree with you to a certain extent.
Yep.
The first look, I would have to say, we had Jai over to photograph our wedding. The first look, I knew what Eleni was wearing because we chose it together, but Eleni didn't know what I was wearing.
Right.
So she got dressed and she went down into the garden, and then I got dressed, and then obviously she had turned around.
You were in the dress and Eleni was in the Leslie tux?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so
pink.
I can...
Her suit was beautiful and pink.
Just picture that, people.
And, I'll send you the photo. You should just have the photo pop up on the screen. And so the first look, it was the most emotional part of our entire day, and it was captured perfectly, and they're the photos that eventually, when I get printed, that will go on the wall.
Yep.
So emotional. But I do agree with you, because then we went and had a portrait session prior to the ceremony, because we wanted to get straight into the party with our guests. We didn't want to go off and leave them.
Okay.
Which is why a lot of our couples in Australia do that now.
Yep.
They want to get that over and done with, so then they can just
And
go
again,
straight into the cocktail hour.
You doing it twice, you're an expert, Sharon, that you would have known the pre and the post. You've experienced both ways.
Yes.
So after doing it, the standard sort of way of going portrait session post ceremony,
I was very different.
you've
25
now
years
gone
ago.
pre, but no, you're at a perfect. You're the expert to be able to tell me which one was better.
Well, I'm going to talk about our wedding in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right, because I was anxious that I wasn't going to get there before our guests arrived on the bus that we'd
There you go.
organised.
Some stress.
I was totally stressed. So I didn't feel relaxed enough to have these photos
Yep.
be captured perfectly.
Yep. What about
So
when your
that's why
wife's
I
kissing
kinda-
you and you're worried about your lipstick going halfway across your face?
Yeah.
Pre-ceremony.
All
What
of
about
that.
your dress dragging across the dirt? Oh my God, I need to arrive at the ceremony in perfect
clean.
nick.
Yeah, all of that came into
It's
play.
all of that.
See, I didn't have a long dress, but I had the long cape thing going on, and
Yeah.
that sort of dragged along the ground. I would prefer that I didn't do that
There you go.
next time.
I'm
Eleni
not
and
a
I
fan
get
of your
married.
first look.
Yeah.
And
I'm
in
not over
hindsight, you're possibly not a fan either.
I'm not over the top a fan of first looks.
On that bombshell of me and Sharon agreeing
Actually
on
agreeing.
something.
And also, but some of my couples, I go, oh no, we had the first look and we've had our portrait session. It's not going to be emotional when I walk down the aisle. And I've said to them, don't be
Oh,
surprised.
don't undersell that.
Don't undersell that at all, because there is something about you walking down the aisle towards your beloved
Yes.
that just takes you to a new level of emotion.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Sometimes when they've
There's
done
a-
the
there's a
portrait session
cry.
prior,
Yeah.
and then they do the walk down and he still cries. I've
Yes, I
seen
love
that.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So don't
That's
underestimate
great. No,
that
don't
part of
underestimate.
it.
A lot of people say, we're just normal, relaxed, we don't really want to go through this and that, and, we don't think it'll be... No, sometimes it's very emotional. You're not
Yes.
expecting it.
No, not one bit.
Yeah, good.
So that's the aisle and first looks done.
Good. Well, that's been roughly enough time, Sharon.
Okay. Did you just look at the clock again?
I did.
No, you know why? Because sometimes when we first started, we were just rambling and nearly an hour went by and the cameras had turned off. So we did a
Yeah.
half an hour of just chit chat.
And who wants to listen to us for more than half an hour?
Yeah, I don't want to listen to me more than half an hour. That's why my ceremonies are about 25 minutes.
Do you know, Sharon, that we've rocketed into the top 50 for iTunes podcasts
Stop
in the
it!
comedy interview section?
How many are in that section?
53.
Hey? Number 50 with a bullet.
With a bullet.
I like it.
All right,
If
let's
you
wrap it
would
up,
li-
Shaz. Let's wrap it up. If you would like what? What would you
If
like?
you would like us to talk about something, anything, you can email us on theweddingcrunch@gmail.com.
Good.
I set up a Facey community group this week. It's called the Wedding Crunch Community.
A crunch community, Sharon.
Yeah. Jump on. Tell us what you'd like to hear.
Are there any T-shirts yet?
Oh, I was going to make you a T-shirt, wasn't I?
I'd like a T-shirt with the Wedding Crunch written on it. If you want a Wedding Crunch T-shirt, going now, $29.99.
No, we don't have them.
Oh. Get on Martini Bride and look for them. Get on there.
No, I'll make us a T-shirt by our next episode.
Yes. Will you?
Where am I going to get T-shirts from? Everywhere's closed.
I don't know. Hashtag Corona pain in the ass.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. I think I
Yep.
feel a little bit prettier.
Watch us on YouTube. See us. No, don't see us. Listen to us on the podcasts on Spotify and iTunes and stuff. Find
And
us that way.
YouTube.
And subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
When I see YouTube things and then some dickhead at the end goes, subscribe, and I think, shut up, mate. Fuck, I'll just get you when I get you. No, subscribe.
Love it.
Okay, that's it. Johnny out, Sharon out.